at 11. Businesses, schools, and government buildings all evacuated across the country and in Oregon. The email hoax today that sent them into a panic.
Plus, they're an iconic part of Portland. But now, a manhunt is on for the Benson Bubbler Bandit.
And a major turn of events in the case of an Oregon City family that lost their life savings in a scam.
And I've got everybody's already, calling it the Christmas miracle.
The plan tonight to help them recover the money and get their new home.
And thank you for being with us. We're going to begin with a developing story. The search now for a hit-and-run driver who badly injured a woman while she was crossing the street.
The crash happened at the intersection of Molalla Avenue and Gaffney Lane in Oregon City. KGW's Mike Benner is live at OHSU tonight with an update on the victim. Mike.
Yeah, Laurel, that 37-year-old woman is listed in serious condition here at OHSU, and it appears that's an improvement because when she was first transported here, she was in critical condition. We can tell you that the hit-and-run crash happened around 10:15 last night at the intersection of Molalla Avenue and Gaffney Lane. For point of reference, this is right by the Oregon City Fred Meyer and Burgerville. When officers arrived on scene, they found the woman lying in the middle of the road. Witnesses say the vehicle hit the woman and continued southbound on Molalla Avenue. Now, late tonight, we spoke with investigators as well as a guy who works near the crash scene. Here's what they had to say.
Well, I got off work, and the next thing you seen was this police surrounding the street, the corner, like the street was shut down. I seen the lady on the ground just yelling for help and for emergency. I didn't know the situation, but it looked bad.
This is a tragic situation for this woman and her family, and we want to figure out who this person is first and then figure out why they did this. We just have no idea right now.
All right, take a look at these photos. They show parts of the vehicle believed to be involved in this hit and run. Authorities think the suspect vehicle is a dark-colored, possibly black, van or SUV. Anyone with information about this case is urged to contact the Oregon City Police Department. Back to you in the studio.
We send our best wishes to the victim for a full recovery, and hopefully they catch the driver. Thank you, Mike. We have great news tonight. New developments for an Oregon City family who lost their life savings in a scam. Not only has the community stepped up to help them, today the title company they were working with proposed an idea that would help make up for the family's losses.
How about that? KGW's Catherine Cook has been working this story for us all week. So, Catherine, this morning, the title company reached out to you?
Well, guys, I have to admit, what they shared with me brought me to tears. This story has struck a chord with a lot of people. They proposed a possible solution to the family's incredible loss and something that might help others avoid being scammed in the future.
There's a reason Aaron Cole is smiling.
Everybody's already, calling it the Christmas miracle, and we're cautiously optimistic.
A far cry from where his family stood just a few days ago.
When our lives were over.
That's when Cole learned he'd been scammed out of $123,000, the down payment for his family's dream home, the equity he'd earned after selling this house.
It's been crazy.
Police say someone posing as an employee of WFG National Title, the company Aaron was working with, emailed him phony instructions on wiring that money. It looked legit, with just a few exceptions, including email domains. It's not clear how or who the scammers hacked to create the fake email, but it worked.
It could happen to anybody. I think it's probably a lot of it. You look at it and you go, gosh, that could easily happen to me.
The Coles were out $123,000 and a week from being homeless. After days of wondering what he'd do, Cole got a call from WFG's Executive Vice President, Don O'Neill. O'Neill made Cole a job offer, a short stint as a fraud consultant to help warn others about the wire scam, and as payment, WFG would make up for his losses.
I'm very grateful. I didn't expect, after speaking with him Monday, that I had much chance of them doing much of anything.
Both Cole and O'Neill tell KGW they're still working out details before finalizing plans, but hope everyone can benefit.
We can all work together, and I can explain to people how easy it was to fall for this.
And just maybe, the Coles will be in their dream house by Christmas.
If we can get in there in time, I can still get a tree in there.
Since our story first aired, a lot of people have offered support, even housing, to the Cole family. A GoFundMe account has also raised around $14,000. And guys, if this deal goes through, they say they plan to donate that money to charity or refund it if possible. But I'm so happy for them.
All of us are. It's so heartwarming to see the community come around them, especially this time of year.
Absolutely.
It really makes me think that this story isn't over, though. I mean, even after your initial reports with the title company saying that he's not the only victim of this sort of thing, over the past 2 years, they've had several people
it's
suffer
a widespread problem for sure.
Well, hopefully the end result are changes in the industry to protect other people. Thank you, Catherine. That's because cybersecurity experts fear real estate agents and title companies are going to be hot targets for hackers as this scam becomes more common.
Yeah, many of them don't have the same security controls that, for instance, a bank does, and it makes them a little bit more vulnerable to these types of attacks. But this sophisticated scam can be avoided if you understand how it works. KGW investigative reporter Kyla Boshi breaks it down for us.
Here are the basics. The hackers break into the email accounts of real estate agents or a title company to get information about upcoming real estate transactions. The hackers then send an email to the home buyer posing as the real estate agent or title company. The bogus email claims there's been a last-minute change to the deal and closing costs should be wired to a different account. The home buyer then sends a wire transfer to the hacker. In the case of an Oregon City couple, that meant $123,000 gone. Cybersecurity expert Ken Weston says this scam hinges on two things. First, timing.
I think especially when people are buying houses, right? It's sort of it's a very emotional time, so they may not be using the best judgment, right? They get an email, I got to send the wire. They'll even have this sort of immediacy, like we need to have this by the end of the day. If you don't, you're going to lose the house.
The other key element, getting the home buyer to take the bait. In the Oregon City case, the hackers used a deceptive email. You'd have to look closely to notice it came from mail.com instead of the legit WFGNnationaltitle.com.
Sometimes the emails will actually come from that email account that they've compromised, or it could also come from something that looks similar. Like if I'm targeting one particular real estate company and they have a domain, I may register a domain name that looks very similar to theirs.
To avoid falling for this scam, homeowners should be on alert for changes to wire transfer instructions. Don't fall for it, even if the emailed instructions look legit.
And make no mistake, there isn't one hacker behind this scam. Often it's organized crime based overseas. According to our cybersecurity expert, often these criminals are looking for pending real estate transactions, then try and sell that account information on the underground market. Kyla Boshi, KGW News.
So we got some weather headed our way, especially for those folks out on the coast bracing for a storm tonight.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino joins us now with more on the wind we can expect tomorrow. Matt?
Yeah, it'll pick up in the afternoon hours, so around midday out at the Oregon coast. We're watching this storm develop here. It'll head into Vancouver Island, and as it gets closer, the wind will come up. It's not too bad right now, but we have a high wind warning on the coast. Also wind advisories in northeast Oregon, including Pendleton and also over by LeGrand. Winds there will be about 40 miles an hour. Winds on the coast about 60 miles an hour. But those strong winds really just confined to the beaches and the headlands there. In the coastal towns and cities, more like 40 or 45 miles an hour. We also have a high surf advisory. We'll have more on that for you a little bit later on. So the strongest winds about 9 a.m. to noon at the coast. In the valleys a little bit later, and they won't be as strong. We don't have any wind advisories for the valley. And the Cascades will pick up new snow. There's a lot more to talk about, though. We've got heavy rain coming over a long extended period of time. And also those warnings and those swells. That may not be the last high surf advisory we see for a while. Back to you.
All right, Matt, talk to you again soon. Hey, folks, if you're traveling into the gorge this weekend, we have an alert for you. Work crews shut down an exit ramp on I-84 because of a mudslide there. You see some of the video. This is exit 41, just east of Bonneville. So debris came down, covered that road yesterday. Things really only got worse from there. While the crews were working to clear that first slide, more of the hill started to slide down. So they decided to just keep that area blocked. Keep an eye on it for now. Most of that vegetation on that hill was burned by the Eagle Creek fire, so it was especially prone to these types of slides. But they say the exit could be closed through the weekend.
Check this out. It is a bizarre crime in southeast Portland. One of the city's famous Benson bubblers has been stolen. You heard that right. The heavy bronze water fountain yanked right out of the ground. KGW's Mike Benner has the details.
Oh my gosh. Employees with the Portland Water Bureau
working late into the evening, hoping to track down something near and dear to their hearts.
They really are kind of an icon of Portland.
He's talking about the famous Benson Bubblers. More than 120 water fountains are sprinkled throughout the city, but tonight, the one at Southeast 65th and Foster is missing.
I really couldn't tell you why it was stolen or who stole it.
What's clear is this: the bubbler was taken last week, between Thursday evening and Friday morning. Water Bureau security is checking surveillance footage from nearby businesses.
It's particularly sad because this bubbler was hit by a car earlier this year. It took a few months to replace it, and now it appears to be stolen.
As the missing flyer indicates, the bubbler is decades old, approximately 3 feet tall and 50 to 60 pounds, and very much missed in this Southeast Portland neighborhood.
I don't know if this has ever happened before. It's a really unusual case.
In Portland.
Seems like they should be able to find the Benson Bubbler.
Who steals something like that?
Coming up, an email sparks evacuations in buildings across the country. We talked to local police about how they're investigating today's bomb scare.
Well, if you want to talk about a new report with you, it shows the Arctic is heating up twice as fast as everything else everywhere else. We're learning how it could impact fish off the Oregon coast.
Maybe we all want a new career here. Later, he makes $500,000 a month playing video games. We'll show you how a Portland company is helping this streaming superstar up his game.
I can think of some stuff to do with that money. I don't know if I could pull off that hair, though. Hey, take a quick look at the ski report as we go to break.